so tightened up all the edges on these guys and added the edge weights to all of them, so those are consistent now. There's one thing on the front that I forgot to point out. I fixed it on all of them except for this one here. I'll show you. On the corners of these outer corners here, there's one weird little piece of geometry here that I just want to change to a triangle. Again, that was around all of them. I've already fixed all the other ones, but basically I'm just using the edge slice tool, clicking on that vertex and that one, so I split it right there to create what I think is a cleaner corner. I think those look a little better, like so. Okay, so next up, let's go ahead and deal with these. These we added earlier. I probably should have followed through on this, but this is why we added those six-sided polys in here. And we're going to go ahead and just select the 6 of those, bevel, turn that on. I'm going to go like 500 micrometers. I'm going to do a shift click, and then I'm going to shift these guys down slightly, shift click again, and bring them all the way back. And for now, I'm going to bring them past that point, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that big guy. I'm going to grab all these, actually grab these edges, and the easiest way to do this, I'm going to use the scale tool, go back to element axis, or element action center, click on one of these edges here, and then scale this down to 0. So now that they're in line with the back of this. Closing, I'm not going to show you how to close the back of this. It's essentially the same thing as what we did on the front, so you should be able to handle that. So now, if we go back to subpatch, you can see those holes are looking sweet. What else? Okay, so the last thing is a little bit of detail in her. Look at this. Again, I don't know what the function of this is, but it's on revolvers, so I wanted it to be there. It's pretty simple to add. It won't be like this. So first, I'm gonna just use the slice tool. Oh, damn you! Yeah, last time I did that, I put a slice in the wrong place. I'm going to go back to automatic action center, grab this guy again, put a slice right about here, and I'm going to do another one right about here. So grab these two guys, and using the slide tool again, duplicates on. I'm going to slide this out. These are just arbitrary values here. It's just eyeballing it. Something like that. I'm going to make the top of this guy this, and the bottom like this, and then I need this little section right here. So I'm basically just, you can see the outline of what I'm creating here. I gotta have some geometry to support this thing, so the easiest way for me to do it is slide out those edges. So now I just gotta clean this up and make it flow a little bit better. So first I'm gonna delete those, we don't need them. And I'm gonna come in here, grab this vertex, and grab that vertex, and I'm gonna join them, and Now, this one here is a little tricky. This is not a great way to flow these together, but I couldn't find a better way to do it. Perhaps a better way to do it might be to run an edge loop up through here and join this vertex to that vertex. I think you'd still be left with an end gun there, though. The good thing about this is that even though it's not great polyflow, it doesn't show up, and I wasn't able to ever see it in a render. I did a really nice chrome render of this gun, and never really saw it. Never was able to find any of the errors that I see in the mesh. So it renders nicely, so I'm not really concerned about it. If you guys can find a better way to make it flow, be my guest. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come down here and get this guy. So those are good. Now, next, you can see if we subpatch that, it's starting to look right. And I've still maintained everything else that I have back here in this arc. So next is select that edge loop. I'm just going to use edge extend here, and I'm gonna my action center is set to selection right now. I'm gonna pull that in a little bit, and I'm just gonna scale it on just the X and the Y axis, and I'm going to hit the edge extend again, bring down another section here, do the same thing, just scale a little bit on those two axes, bring it up a little bit until it looks right. And don't worry, you won't have to do this multiple times. I eventually did another radial array to duplicate this around the barrel, or around the cylinder here. So at this point I'm going to hit P just to create a poly. There is one there. It's not flipped right, so I hit flip twice, so just the F key. It's an N-gon, so it's not going to display properly. We can fix that pretty quickly. I'm going to come in here and grab my edge slice tool, and I'm going to join these vertices up to make a better polyflow. Oh, no. Do that, 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 that. I'd take a little more care to do this if I was really doing it. And do that, do that. So now we got a bunch of quads down there. Should be looking pretty good, just needs some tightening up around the edge here. To do that, I'm going to grab these polys. Just do a shift select, shift up arrow to increase my selection. I'm going to do another bevel here. Polys grouped. Activate it. Give it an inset. 500 micrometers looks pretty good to me. That should tighten that edge up pretty good. I can't remember if I ran one around the outside. I don't think I did on this guy. Yeah, it would have just created more polyflow errors for me. So I left that edge a little bit softer than the rest of the mesh. Probably would be in reality. I don't think those things are really cut with a sharp edge there. If you want to tighten it up, you could always do it with an edge weight. And I think that's pretty much it. The back, like I said, is just closing it up as the same way we closed up the front here. And these guys, what I would do here, like I said, is I would come in here, delete this. I think these are the only 6 polys that were changed on that. I would delete those. I would grab these, this group of polys, and I think that is what is going to replace, it's going to fit right in there. The way I do that is just create another poly back here to use as your element to center the radial array. Just create another radial array. Should merge right into place. If it doesn't, you might just have to come in and manually merge vertices, but I think it'll line up perfectly. And then that's what you end up with.